Hey, everyone, I don't know how to start this without my voice shaking because just saying it out loud makes it feel real. And I don't want it to be real. My name is Amanda. I'm 27 years old. And a few months ago, I found out that my husband, the man I built my future with, had been cheating on me with my best friend. Let that sink in for a second. My husband, my best friend. And it wasn't just a one time mistake, it was an affair. Ongoing, secret, dirty. And the worst part, everyone knew. His family knew. My so-called second mother, his mom, she knew. Even his father. Even some of his cousins. I was the last to find out. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me take you back to when I still believed I was happy. Jason, my husband, is 30. He's a doctor. Polished, intelligent. The kind of man people trust instantly. He's the guy who holds the door open, remembers your coffee order, and charms your friends at dinner parties. And I fell for it all. We met 6 years ago, got married 3 years after. It wasn't a perfect marriage. No one's is, but I thought it was strong, solid, safe. And then there's Melissa, my best friend since high school. We've been through everything: breakups, birthdays, funerals, college, dorm disasters. She held my hand when I had a miscarriage. She gave the speech at my wedding. She even lived with us for 6 months while her apartment was under renovation. She was like a sister to me. Maybe that's why I never saw it coming. At first, it was subtle. Jason started working late more often. Melissa dropped by more than usual, just checking in, she said. They laughed more around each other, shared inside jokes I didn't remember ever hearing before. I told myself I was being insecure. Jason was stressed. Melissa was lonely. I was overthinking. Until one night. I came home early from work. Jason wasn't there. Melissa wasn't answering her phone, but her purse was on the kitchen counter, and there were 2 half-empty glasses of wine in the sink. Still, I didn't say anything. I told myself maybe she stopped by to wait for me. Maybe they were just talking. Then during our anniversary dinner, a night I'd been planning for weeks, Jason showed up late. Melissa had texted me earlier, "Hope tonight's magical." I smiled. I thought she was being sweet. But when Jason walked in, his shirt was rumpled. His breath didn't smell like wine. It smelled like her perfume. I know that scent. I bought it for her birthday. That was the moment something cracked inside me. Not a full break, not yet, but a sharp fracture, the kind you pretend didn't happen so you can keep breathing. I wish I could say I confronted him right then and there, but I didn't, because part of me still trusted them, because part of me couldn't imagine that 2 people I loved so deeply could ever do this to me. So I stayed quiet. I smiled through dessert. I kissed him goodnight, and I stared at the ceiling until morning. But from that moment on, I started watching, listening, because something inside me whispered, "You're not crazy, you're not wrong, you're just the last to know." And that's the most terrifying kind of silence. I started paying attention, not in a paranoid, obsessed kind of way, but in that slow, terrifying realization that maybe, just maybe, everything you believe is a lie. And once you notice one crack, you start seeing the whole house collapsing. Jason suddenly changed his passcode. He'd always been open with his phone before, left it face up on the table, laughed at memes with me, handed it to me to reply to texts when he was driving. But now screen always down. Notifications turned off, bathroom breaks with his phone in hand, even during dinner. Melissa, meanwhile, had started pulling away from me, not obviously, but just enough. She stopped asking to hang out one-on-one. She stopped calling me Mandy, her little nickname for years. She even missed my birthday brunch, said she had food poisoning. But later that day, she posted a photo at a rooftop bar wearing the necklace I gave her. And guess who liked the post first, Jason? It sounds stupid, right? A photo, a late dinner, But it's not just the things themselves, it's the way they made me feel. Invisible, pushed aside, like an extra in the life that used to be mine. I remember one night, Jason came home late again. He smelled like wine, but not the wine we keep at home. He was humming, smiling. I asked, "Did you go out after work?" He paused just for a second and said, "Just with some colleagues. Needed to blow off steam." I asked, "Was Melissa there?" He blinked. "Melissa, no. Why would she be?" And then he laughed, like I was being ridiculous, like I was the one losing my mind. That night, I couldn't sleep. I sat in the dark, scrolling back through texts, memories, old photos. I found a picture from our wedding. Melissa was standing next to me, holding my veil, smiling, and Jason was looking at her. Not just a glance, but a look. That look. And I felt sick. So I did something I'd never done before. I picked up his phone while he was sleeping. The passcode was different. Yes. But guess what? He had used our anniversary date reversed. So clever, so sentimental, so predictable. The first thing I saw was a message thread with a contact saved as M, just the letter M. I opened it, and there it was. "Miss you already. Last night was amazing. She has no idea, right? Don't worry. She's clueless." I couldn't breathe. My chest physically hurt, like someone reached in and just squeezed my heart until it cracked. I dropped the phone. I ran to the bathroom and threw up. I didn't confront him that night. Instead, I took screenshots. Every message, every timestamp, every lie wrapped in emojis and sweet words. I backed everything up. I emailed it to myself because I knew I'd need it later. The next morning, Jason acted normal. He kissed me on the forehead, asked if I wanted pancakes, said, "You look beautiful this morning." And I smiled because now I wasn't guessing anymore. I knew. But what I didn't know, what I couldn't possibly imagine, was that Melissa wasn't the only one who knew, that his entire family had known all along. And they said nothing. Worse than nothing, they helped him hide it. And soon, they were going to regret that. I spent the next 2 days pretending to be okay and pretending to smile, pretending I didn't just watch my marriage shatter in real time. I still cooked, still cleaned, still texted Melissa like nothing had happened. Because I wasn't ready to explode, not yet. I needed to understand the full scope of the lie. And I had a feeling the rabbit hole went deeper. I decided to talk to someone who might tell me the truth, Jason's cousin Claire. She and I were close, not besties, but real enough to have cried together after her divorce. She always struck me as the one member of that family with a conscience. So I called her up casually. "Hey Claire," I said, "have you seen Jason and Melissa hanging out lately? They've been acting weird." There was a long pause. Then she sighed. And what she said made my stomach drop. "Amanda, I thought you already knew." Just like that. No denial, no confusion, just tired honesty. I asked, "Knew what?" She hesitated again, then said, "It's been going on a while, maybe a year. I only found out when Jason got drunk at New Year's," and blurted it out. I asked, "Did you tell anyone?" She said, "I told my mom." She told Linda, Jason's mom. But Linda already knew. I hung up without saying goodbye. My ears were ringing. My heart wasn't just broken, it was humiliated. Linda knew. His mother knew. And she still welcomed me into her home, smiled at my face, hugged me at Christmas, gave me advice about how to keep a man happy. What a joke. I called Melissa that night. She didn't answer, so I sent her a text. "You could have just told me. I wouldn't have hated you nearly as much as I do now." She read it. No reply. A few hours later, Jason came home. I was sitting at the table. The lights were off. He looked surprised. "Amanda, what are you doing?" I said, "Nothing." Just slid a folder across the table, printed screenshots, dates, times, maps, everything. His face turned pale. He sat down, And for the first time, he didn't deny it. "I never meant for it to happen," he said. "It was just, we got close. You were working a lot, and Melissa understood me." I laughed. I actually laughed out loud. "Oh, I'm sorry. Was I too busy trying to carry your child and manage our household while you played doctor with my best friend?" He tried to reach for me. I pulled away. Then I asked him the one question I'd been avoiding. Who else knew? He didn't answer. So I asked again. Who else knew Jason? He looked down. "Mom," he whispered, "and Dad, and a couple of cousins." That was it. That was the final crack. Not the cheating, not the betrayal, but the realization that I had been the punchline of a family secret. A secret passed around like gossip at Thanksgiving. While I sat there smiling, toasting wine, calling them family, I walked to the bedroom, grabbed my bag, and left. No screaming, no crying, just silence. And the sound of my own dignity trying to stitch itself back together. But I wasn't done. They thought that would be the end of it. That I'd go cry in a hotel room and disappear. But no, they didn't know who they were dealing with. Because what I did next, let's just say the entire family will remember it for the rest of their lives. It was Linda's idea, a backyard BBQ. Just the family, she said. She texted me the invite like nothing had happened, like I was still part of their little circle. I almost declined. But then I realized, no, this was perfect. They invited me thinking I was still the fool, still the clueless, smiling daughter-in-law. They had no idea that I was walking in with the truth in my back pocket. So I dressed carefully, not to impress, not to intimidate, but to armor up. Dark jeans, tied back hair, minimal makeup, calm face, the kind of look that says I'm done pretending, and I'm not here to play nice. When I arrived, they were already drinking, laughing, Jason flipping burgers like he didn't destroy a marriage. Melissa was there too, wearing my old denim jacket, the one she borrowed months ago and never returned. She waved when she saw me. Fake, plastic, perfectly rehearsed. I smiled back. But inside, I was shaking. Not with fear, with fury. Jason came over and kissed my cheek. "Glad you made it," he said, as if we were still in love. "Wouldn't miss it," I replied. And I meant it. We ate, chatted, the usual family small talk, until Linda stood up and raised her glass. "To family," she said. Through thick and thin, everyone clapped, everyone except me. I stood up holding my own glass and said, "To family, yeah. Especially the ones who sleep with your husband and smile at your face like nothing happened." Silence. You could feel the sound drop out of the world. Jason blinked. Melissa froze. Linda's wineglass shook in her hand. I walked to the center of the yard, pulled a folder out of my purse, held it up. "This," I said, "is a printed copy of every text message between Jason and Melissa for the past year." I tossed it onto the patio table like a grenade. Dates, times, pet names, hotel reservations, even a photo or two. Jason stepped forward. "Amanda, let's not do this here." "Oh," I snapped. "You mean let's not expose your lies in front of the people who helped you keep them?" I turned to Linda. "You knew. You let me toast Melissa at Thanksgiving while she was screwing your son." Linda opened her mouth, then closed it. No words, just guilt. Heavy, visible, and way too late. I looked at Melissa. Was it worth it? She didn't answer. Her face was red, but not from shame, from being caught. And that told me everything I needed to know. Then I turned to the rest of them, Jason's dad, the cousins, Claire. "I don't need apologies," I said. "I don't need explanations." I took off my wedding ring and placed it on the grill. "Here's what I need: distance, peace, and for none of you to ever contact me again." I walked out. No one followed me. No one called my name. They just stood there, burning in the fire they built together. And for the first time in months, I felt light. Not healed, not yet, but free, and freedom tastes better than any BBQ. It's been 6 weeks since that backyard BBQ. 6 weeks since I dropped the truth in the middle of their perfect little party and watched everything crumble. Sometimes I still wake up in a cold sweat. Sometimes I still hear Melissa's laugh in my head, that fake sugary sound that used to feel like comfort. Now it makes my stomach turn. But most days I'm okay. I moved out 2 days after the party. I packed everything that was mine and only mine, left the wedding photos on the wall, left his favorite coffee mug in the cabinet, left behind the version of me who begged people to treat her with basic human decency. She's not here anymore. I got a new apartment, small, clean, sunlit, no shared closet, no toothbrush that isn't mine, no weird perfume in the laundry, just me and silence. But this time, the silence is mine. Melissa never reached out. Not once. I think that hurt more than anything because part of me, the old me, still thought she might say sorry. Still thought maybe we'd sit across from each other, cry, scream, throw things. But no. She just disappeared, vanished into the same shadows where she built the lie. Jason, he tried. Texts, emails, a letter left at my new place. The letter was 6 pages long. I miss you. I messed up. You were the best thing that ever happened to me. Melissa didn't mean anything. Typical. Blame the affair on loneliness. Blame the betrayal on me being distant. Pretend Melissa was just a mistake. A mistake doesn't last a year. A mistake doesn't wear my jacket and toast my marriage like a bridesmaid. I tore the letter up piece by piece and flushed it down the toilet. That felt symbolic. But the truth is, I'm still healing. Not in that fake, I'm over it kind of way, but in the quiet, painful, honest way. I still have questions I'll never get answers to. Still have memories that hit like waves at 2 a.m. Still double check my phone every time someone texts me. Trust doesn't grow back overnight, but I'm learning to trust myself again. I started therapy, signed up for yoga. Yeah, I know, cliche, but it helps. I talk to Claire sometimes. She apologized again. She's angry too, mostly at her own family. I told her, you don't owe me anything, but thanks for not pretending. That meant something. Last week, I got drinks with my coworkers. They made me laugh. Real laughter. Not the kind you force to keep the peace, the kind that bubbles up unexpectedly and reminds you you're still alive. It felt like breathing after holding it in for years. Do I still think about Jason sometimes? But not with longing, with clarity. He taught me exactly what I will never tolerate again. Melissa. She taught me that even a decade of friendship can vanish in one secret. And his family, they taught me that blood doesn't mean loyalty. But me, I learned something too. I learned that walking away isn't weakness, it's strength. That surviving betrayal doesn't make me broken, it makes me unbreakable. And if you're listening to this, if you've ever felt like the last person to know the truth, let me say this. You are not crazy. You are not dramatic. You are not weak. You are waking up. And when you do, you won't just survive, you'll rise. And trust me, they'll never forget the day you did.